Okay, so just before I went, I was asking you about how do you consciously becoming a playback singer? There must be something to it. So let's hear that. Who was listening? Maybe they...
Okay, well, when I came into the industry, it was a different time. It was 15 years ago, and playback singing was still considered novel. It was like, wow, you got a song in a film? Because back then, you had a very limited amount of singers who were discovered purely on their own individual merit. So when I came, it was my album that I did with Magnus Sound, which got to Rahman's ears.
How did that happen?
Well, at that time, I released the album, we released it in Feb of 98.
Can't recollect, but...
I recollect.
Yeah, you should.
So Feb of 98, we launched the album. And then by April 98, I get a call from Rahman one day, which I actually thought was a prank call.
Oh, you thought it was a prank from someone?
At that time, I was staying at the Magnus Sound office. And in the evenings, I used to enjoy my walks to the local Baroda shop. So just before I'm leaving, I had a phone call. So I was just about to lock the door, and then I get the phone ring, and I'm like, I gotta go back inside. Or, who is it? And that it was a Sunday. And this person calling, hello, Rahman Rahman. So I thought, man, this must be a damn crank call.
Yeah.
I said,
I would have reason to think it's a crank
exactly.
call.
I expected some really posh English, hello, we're calling from the AR Rahman studio, please be aware.
None of that happened.
None of that. So the guy called me 3 times. And I hung up 3 times, thinking that it's a crank call.
You're really pushing your luck there.
And then finally he said, Thambi, dayavu seidhu phone kelukadinga. Na satyama Rahman office da pesuranga. Neenga yaar vena kelunga. Sami Dharan yaar neenga kelunga. Naan daanga Rahman sir in charge. So then I said, okay, fine. And at that time I happened to, been acquaintances with Rahman's eldest sister, Rehana. Okay. So I called her, I said, Akka, indha mari Sami Dharan phone pannanga. Yeah, I got a call from one Swami there. She said, yes, of course, that's my brother's in charge. Go ahead, go right away and don't delay. So I was thrilled. Okay, fine. I actually did not think I'm going to sing a song for Rahman. I just thought I was going to go and do an audition.
Okay.
Because that time they had a lot of this thing called voice test. So people just get called in, almost like a screen test. They would just, audition your voice and see is it good enough to, make it to the film. So I remember I went to the studio. I waited about 5 hours. I went about 7 o'clock. Of course, it was new for me, and being at Chennai heat, I was getting a little restless outside in the lobby, and I was like, "Am I going to see him yet, or shall I come back later?" And many things that one day humbled me a lot because I was getting restless, and I was like, "Let me go home and I'll come back."
Do I need to hang around outside anybody's studio?
But the thing that I was stunned was back then in Rahman's studio, when it was really like very informal. Excuse me. This Mr. Swami that took me inside one room, which I still will not forget, almost a similar room to this, and there was a mountain of cassettes. Okay. And every cassette was a demo sent in by somebody. For Rahman to listen to. And
it goes on the heap.
It just goes on the heap. So, and Swami Dara said one thing, he said that all these people have sent in demos for, sir to listen to and, hopefully get a chance. He's called you directly. Please just wait for a couple of hours. You will get to, meet him. So I was like being all like snooty, young guy in his 20s. And I was like, all right, get me some chicken fried rice and some chili chicken and a Coke. So they got me some grub. I just enjoyed, waited out. And then I even bumped into Mr. Udit Narayan, in between. He was singing his song for the same film.
Okay.
And then by midnight, I get to see Rahman. There was this.
So you were there the whole day?
The whole night. From 7 till midnight, I waited. Okay. And then from midnight till 7 in the morning, I sang.
Now, what did you sing that first time? That must be in your mind.
Yes, Om Maria. My first song was Om Maria. So I went in and
I got the input from you on that song.
The accent. The way I said Maria was the stamp. Because I said it with the US accent.
How would it be if it was sung by somebody here?
They would have said Maria.
Okay, and you say you made it?
Maria,
okay. So that was the difference.
That was the thing, and I think my tone itself was different. It wasn't the typical South Indian, melodic singer. I was a very, raw.
But you were always very good at harmonies. Was that something
was because
Rahman actually realized about?
I just did it on my own. Like I said, I was since I came from a choir background, I didn't get any Indian training while I was in the US. I was always around Western music, and the only singing I got exposed to was through the school choirs. So in school choirs, you have 6-part harmony, 8-part harmony. You have soprano, alto, tenor, baritone, and bass. So all these different divisions of voice. And you hear that
none
every
of that
day.
happens here in our music?
Not really, but I just started trying to use that in different things. But then the term for choir or any vocal thing here is immediately referred to like Christian music.
Okay.
If you see anyone using it just
Straight
immediately
away.
means a
You see them all
church party.
standing
Yeah,
in-
exactly. They don't think of it as, they don't look at choir music as another form of music. They relate it immediately to the church.
Okay.
Because if you take any film like this Kadal Ovium or even the beginning of this Idu Oru Neela Kalam, there's a nice choir range, la 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 la. Immediately you just think church. Pidave. That's the general perception by the Tamil public.
Yeah,
anyway, so when I started doing harmonies and I started layering my stuff, it was new, and of course I completely thank Rahman for allowing me to expose that ability
That's
of
important.
mine.
You went to a lot of
Yeah.
people who didn't even want it.
I remember recently I did a reality show on TV. Obviously, it's on TV. And Miss Asha Bhosle ma'am had come down from Bombay, and I was called to do a full a cappella tribute to her on the channel. And I'd taken two of her songs. One was Churaliya, and I fused that in with Ni Partha Parve from Heram. Everybody was like blown away when they saw that on TV. And
All right, so he's been doing some things on his own, not just playback singing. I mean, like going on reality shows and stuff. So in the last part, we'll find out, is that the way that's left for singers in future?